Hi, beautiful people of the internet. How are you doing today? My name is Jackie and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today in this video, I am going to be talking about all the TV shows and movies that I have watched recently. This is my 8th time filming one of these videos. You know the drill by now. I'm going to talk about things that I watched recently. A lot of them are going to be historical because I just am a period drama bitch. Let's dive right into it. First, I'm going to talk about a TV show that I did not like very much, and that was the adaptation of Pieces of Her on Netflix. This is based off the book of the same name by Karen Slaughter, which I have read and I did enjoy. I didn't absolutely love it, but I thought it was a good book. This mini-series, I think it's supposed to be a mini-series, but they did kind of leave the door open for a second season. Maybe that's in the works. It changed some elements of the book, and I feel like if you were watching this and you hadn't read the book, I feel like it would be confusing and hard to follow. This book follows a young woman named Andy, and Andy and her mother Laura are at a restaurant when, unfortunately, a active shooter situation occurs and the shooter ends up killing some of the people at the restaurant. However, Laura is able to apprehend him using skills that Andy didn't know her mother had. Laura's actions that day garner a lot of media attention, but Andy begins to wonder, how well does she actually know her mother? What secrets might she be keeping? This was just a weird adaptation. They made a lot of changes that I personally didn't think made sense, and sometimes actively made the story worse. They also added a lot of action scenes, I guess, to make it more interesting in theory to watch, but they just didn't come across as exciting or suspenseful to me. They felt very weird and out of place, nonsensical. Also, this might be a hot take, but British actress Jessica Barden plays the character of Jane in this miniseries, and I know Jessica Barden is not an unknown actress. I think she definitely has some fans. She was in the Netflix series The End of the Effing World, which I personally have never seen, but I know there's a lot of people who like that show. I think she's a terrible actress. She is so bad at delivering her lines. She says every single line in the same flat, monotone voice like this. Happy, sad, angry. It's all just like this. She does not speak a single line with any real emotion. This is it. And I was just like, girl, I do not believe a single word that's coming out of your mouth. Are you being held hostage? Do you need someone to rescue you, sis? It's like she doesn't even want to be there. She's putting no energy into the role. Like, it's that meme, you know, go sis, give us nothing. That's what she's doing. I was literally laughing watching her act, and it was not supposed to be funny. This miniseries was bad, y'all. It was bad. It was not good. It was bad. Bad. Next, a film that I watched was The Last Duel. This is based off a nonfiction book by Eric Jagger, is I think how you say his last name, Jager. I'm probably saying it wrong, I apologize. And so this takes place in medieval France, and it follows France's last royal sanctioned duel. So the main character is played by Matt Damon, a bit of a weird casting choice for a film set in medieval France, but Matt Damon and Ben Affleck produced this movie, I believe, so obviously they're gonna cast themselves in it. You know how actors are. But so Matt Damon's character learns that his wife was sexually assaulted by Jacques Legree, who is one of his former friends, and he decides that he's going to challenge Legree to a duel, a trial by combat, and who wins the duel will determine whether his wife is telling the truth or not. Marguerite, the wife, is played by Jodie Comer, and she is just a fantastic actress. Everything I've seen her in, she is so good. She is the standout character of this film, and really the only sympathetic character. I also thought that Adam Driver's performance as Jacques Legree was really good. I believe that even though Adam Driver is a pretty popular actor right now and he's been in a lot of stuff, I believe this is the first thing I've ever seen him in. Yes, I haven't even seen Star Wars. I know, shocking, I know, I've never seen Star Wars. But I guess I get why he's a popular actor, because I thought his performance in this was pretty good. So overall, this was a pretty decent film. Next, I watched the most recent season of Outlander. This is one of my favorite shows. This is a historical drama that follows Claire, a 20th century woman who ends up accidentally traveling back in time to the 1700s, where she falls in love with a Scottish Highlander named Jamie. I can't tell you too much about what was happening in this season in particular, because spoilers. I'll say personally, I enjoyed this season overall. We met some new characters, and there were some episodes that I thought were really good. I feel like when I'm watching Outlander, there are definitely some episodes that are really standout episodes, and others where I'm like, that was okay, not as good as the other episodes. But overall, I felt like this season was really entertaining for the most part. There was a thing that happened, and I cannot tell you the thing because it's a massive spoiler. But when the thing happened, I was shocked. I was not expecting that to happen, and my mind was blown. So that episode was really good. Now, due to COVID, this season was cut unexpectedly short. So when the season ended, I was like, guys, you can't leave me hanging there. This can't be what you leave me with. Like, I am so invested in what is happening. You can't leave me here for the next year. So that kind of sucked, but obviously, you know, what can you do? That's what happens when there's a global pandemic, you know? It messes with filming your TV show. So obviously that's not their fault, and I did still really enjoy the season, but the anticipation might kill me waiting for the next one. I guess I can just try to get up to that point in the books before the next season so I can find out what's gonna happen, but that's probably not realistic. That's probably not a realistic goal for myself. So now a TV show that let me down. I watched the final season of Killing Eve, and what the hell was this? What the hell was this? This was a terrible ending to a TV show. So Killing Eve is about these two women. We have Eve, who works for MI6, and then Villanelle, who is a professional assassin. And these two are just dancing around each other throughout the series. Eve is trying to apprehend Villanelle, but they're sort of drawn to each other, and they have this amazing sapphic sexual tension. Like, I know I shouldn't ship these two together. Villanelle is literally a serial killer. She's done many awful things. She's not a good person. But Sandra Oh and Jodie Comer just are amazing together. And even though I know I shouldn't want it, every time I was watching their scenes together, I was like, guys, please just kiss. Please make out. The sexual tension is too much. Now, as I said earlier, Jodie Comer, amazing actress. She's amazing in everything I've ever seen her in. And Sandra Oh is also an amazing actress. Absolutely killed it in their roles. The problem with this final season was 100% the writing. The way this show ended was not only disappointing, but it made me wonder what the point of all this was. When you get to the end of the show, you want to understand the message the writer was trying to convey. You want to understand why you watched all these episodes. And I left the show thinking to myself, what was the point of all of this? I just didn't understand. Like, I feel like the ending just ruined everything. I kind of felt like it made the rest of the show feel like a waste of time if this is how it was going to end. I don't want to spoil anything, but yeah, the ending of this show was so bad, and I just don't know what the people writing the show wanted me to feel. It was so unsatisfying. Big thumbs down for the ending. Then I watched the Howard's End miniseries starring Haley Atwell and Matthew McFadden. This is on Amazon Prime Video, and my dad asked me if I wanted to watch it with him, so I said sure, why not? This is based off the book of the same name by E.M. Forster. I have not read the book. I think maybe at some point I will have to. So this show takes place, I believe, in like the Edwardian era in England, early 1900s, and it follows the three Schlegel siblings, Helen, Margaret, and Tibby, and they are three siblings. Their parents are dead. They live together in London, and they have more liberal political beliefs. They meet this family whose name I suddenly forget. What is their name? Damn it. I can't remember it. The Wilcoxes. The Wilcox family. So, the Wilcox family, Mr. and Mrs. Wilcox and their adult children. And the Wilcoxes are very wealthy. Mr. Wilcox is more conservative. So Margaret, the eldest of the Schlegel siblings, ends up having a friendship with Ruth Wilcox, the mother, where Mrs. Wilcox really feels like she's found a sort of kindred spirit in Margaret, and Mrs. Wilcox loves the estate Howard's End, but she feels like her family doesn't appreciate it the same way that she does, and so in Margaret she finds an unlikely friend. Then there's another plot thread where Helen, who is the younger sister, she meets this man named Leonard Bast, who comes from poor origins, and she becomes very invested in him and wanting to help him. And I feel like the relationship between the two of them was just really weird. Maybe it makes more sense in the book, but watching this miniseries, I just didn't understand why Helen latched onto him like she did. She becomes so obsessed with helping him out of his current situation, but Leonard Bast doesn't want her help, and she kind of ends up making his life worse in some aspects. And I just wanted to say to Helen, leave this poor man alone. He doesn't want your help. Just let him live his life and you live yours. I think her heart was in the right place, but she was really trying to give this man charity that he did not want, and it was very strange. Overall, I enjoyed this miniseries. I think it was very well acted. All the performances were good. I liked the costumes, some of the scenery and visuals. I just think the Helen and Bast storyline was a little odd to me, and I'm not sure I fully understood their relationship. Maybe if you read the book, it makes more sense. If any of you out there have read this book, let me know if you think it's something that I should read. Finally, I watched Downton Abbey: A New Era, and I absolutely loved it. Downton Abbey is my favorite TV show. Absolutely adore that show, and this is the second Downton Abbey movie. I feel like this movie was so good, and yes, was it a little bit fan servicey? Yes, but I am so happy with where the characters' storylines ended up, and I feel like I can now happily close the chapter on Downton Abbey. I feel like this is just the perfect way to end it. Every character ended up in a good place, and I left the movie theater feeling very satisfied. Downton Abbey mainly follows the aristocratic Crawley family who live at the title estate, and it also follows the lives of their servants. What I loved about this show is I really enjoy all of the characters and I am invested in all of them to varying degrees. My personal favorite character is Branson, and I'm glad in this movie we got to see him find happiness again and just have a good life, because he deserves everything that's good in this world. I love him. There are mainly two storylines going on in this movie. Several members of the family end up going to the south of France because they find out that the Dowager Countess has unexpectedly inherited a villa from this man that none of them knew about. So why did he leave her this villa? What exactly was their relationship like? And then the other plot line concerns a film crew who want to make a period piece at the Downton Abbey estate. And so we see Mary staying behind while the rest of the family goes to France to oversee the production of this film at their home. Like I said, I was, for the most part, happy with every character's storyline and the way that it ended. I feel like all the loose ends were really tied up, and I just don't think there's a need for another Downton movie. I think let's just leave well enough alone. I think everybody ended up in a good place, and I'm satisfied. I do want to address a couple specifics from the movie, so this is going to be a spoiler section. Do not watch this if you haven't seen the movie yet and you do not want to be spoiled. I just want to share some specific thoughts about the characters. I will say the one character where I was not entirely happy with their storyline is Mary, because we find out that Mary and her husband Henry have been having some problems in their marriage where Henry is away all the time. I kind of understand why the writers did this, because Matthew Goode, the actor who plays Henry, is very busy, and though he wanted to be in the film, I believe it just couldn't work out with his numerous other commitments. So I guess I understand why they wrote this into the film, just to explain away his absence. I mean, they had really two options. Either they're having marital problems or they would have to kill Henry off screen, and I'm glad they did not kill him, because Mary's also already lost one husband and it would have just really sucked for that to happen to her again. I was disappointed because I want Mary to have happiness, but I understand why they had to do it. And you know, I think her ending is not tragic because she still has her family and Downton, and we kind of see her assume the role that the Dowager Countess leaves behind. That's the next thing. As you probably gathered from my last statement, the Dowager Countess does die in this movie. Not surprising, we found out at the end of the first movie that she is ill and not expected to live much longer. It was sad to see her die because she is an amazing character and Maggie Smith plays the character so brilliantly. However, she had a long and interesting life, and I think her goodbyes to her family members on her deathbed were both touching and in character, so I do think that it was a very well done scene. Rest in peace, Lady Violet. You had a truly memorable life. Let's see, other highlights of this movie for me. Like I said, so happy that Tom found happiness. He is my favorite character in the show. He's such a great character, and I'm glad that he is happy now because he deserves that after losing Lady Sybil. I was also so happy to see Mosley and Baxter finally get together. I've been shipping those two, and it seems like Anna and Daisy were shipping it too, based on their reactions to the Baxley proposal. That scene was so sweet. I love how she said to him, well, aren't you going to kneel? This only happens once, you know. That was really cute. And I was also really touched where he said, you know, I finally feel like I can ask you this, like I have something to give you. And she basically said, like, hey, I would have accepted you before when you were just a servant or a small town teacher. So that was really sweet. I think they are such a cute couple. And then I also wanted to talk about the Thomas storyline a little bit. I know there were a lot of people on Tumblr who were not happy with it. So basically in this film, we see that Thomas in the end resigns his position and he's going to move to America to work for one of the actors who is starring in this film. And this actor is also gay, so potentially the two of them might have a romantic relationship. I will say I did not hate this ending for Thomas. I do think I would have liked it better if they had kept his love interest from the first movie, because I was kind of already invested in that relationship, and so introducing a different one in this film, you know, it wasn't my personal choice for how I wanted them to go. However, I am okay with it, and I think maybe this gives Thomas a chance to finally find happiness. One thing that stuck out to me is I just rewatched the first Downton movie before I went to see this one, and there was a part in that first film where Thomas goes to the gay club and he is so happy seeing all these other men who are like him, because his entire life he's felt like he has to keep who he truly is secret. And you know, he says something in that first film along the lines of, like, you know, I've never been around so many people who are like me. And you can see that being able to be with other gay men and to know that other people have the same experience as him just makes him so happy. And so the thing about this ending that I did like is that we see Thomas going to Los Angeles where there is a gay community, and I feel like this gives him the opportunity to be himself in a way that he hasn't been able to be himself before. And I think, you know, potentially he'll be able to make a lot of friends and hopefully be able to be his true, authentic self. And so while the love interest was not my personal choice, you know, I love this for him. I hope that he just gets to live his best life and be who he truly is. I love that for him. He deserves it. So those are all the movies and TV shows that I have watched recently. Have you watched any of these things? If so, do let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Did you also watch Downton Abbey: A New Era? Did you like it? I know there were some people who liked it more than others. Personally, I thought it was fantastic and I'd love to talk to somebody about it. Please give this video a big thumbs up if you enjoyed, and subscribe to my channel if you want to see more from me. I post new videos every single Wednesday and Sunday. My social media links are down below if you want to follow me on Tumblr, Instagram, or be my friend on Goodreads. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a phenomenal rest of your day. Bye, and I'll see you next time.